Hey everyone, it's Maria here. Welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a makeup tutorial for those of you who are over 40, for those of you who maybe want to shed a few years using a few simple makeup tricks. Now, I've done some other makeup tutorials, but nothing that has been completely age specific. So I want to give you some simple tips to execute, nothing that focuses on a lot of product, because I think if it's done incorrectly, a lot of product can definitely age us. So minimalism here is the key, but the application has to be right and the choice of products has to be right as well. All right, so if you're interested in my tips, an over 40 makeup look, then keep watching. Okay, everyone. So the most important thing is to have a really good skincare regimen. Okay, so you have your product already on and you're starting the makeup application with a cleansed skin. Now, the most important thing for a youthful kind of glowing look is the skin, right? So this is going to be your base product. I'm really hoping that the skincare that you're using is giving you some type of nutrients. So just be very careful when you're choosing your skincare products. And although I do love my facial oils, I kind of keep them away from my skincare routine in the mornings when I'm putting makeup on and I want it to stay, okay, throughout the day. You know, so if you have a water-based moisturizer, something lighter, if you have a serum that you like to use that is, more like a hyaluronic aloe vera juice base, definitely stick to those products. I also find that a makeup primer can help. I always carry a makeup primer in my makeup kit, but it's not something that I use every single day. But if you find that it works for you and it helps keep your makeup in place throughout the day, then by all means use it. If you are looking for a bit of a primer that would be, a cleaner, healthier option, drop me a message and I'll make some recommendations. Graydon Skincare has a beautiful product that can be an illuminator and also can be a little bit of a tinted moisturizer itself. It's nice and glowy. It's called Face Glow. I have it in my shop. I'm going to link everything below. But, again, just really, really prep the your palette, I guess. Okay, so where the makeup is going to go. And the other thing that's really important is what type of base product you use. Okay, so let's say you have your primer on or you've done a bit of your, your facial serum, and it's done and it's set and it has absorbed. After that, the best product to kind of give you that youthful, radiant look and to help the both the primer and the serum kind of shine through and give you that youthful glow would be something that's a little bit lighter. Okay, now Pure Anada has two different products, a full coverage and a tinted moisturizer. I have to say that although I love her full coverage for cases that I do need a full coverage foundation, it is not my everyday choice. That said, if you have a full coverage foundation, just mix it with a little bit of a moisturizer. Okay, any moisturizer will do. Mix it and cut it, and then that way it will go on a little bit more, lightly. So I've already applied my serums and everything is absorbed. So I'm going to go straight in with my tinted moisturizer. Now, the tinted moisturizer can be applied with your fingers, or if you prefer to use a sponge, you can also do that. So I'm using the Pure Anada tinted moisturizer in light. And then with the makeup, just a light hand is the key here. And you want to get all those areas that are going to be, exposed for the day. Make sure that everything is really well blended and no one can see where your foundation or tinted moisturizer ends and something else begins. Okay, so blending is really key. Okay, and then of course essential would be to use a concealer. So I prefer these light concealers by Pure Anada. I'm going to use the very fair shade because I want to brighten a little bit underneath the eyes. Now, if you have any, sunspots, if you have any discoloration, you can definitely go ahead and use a little bit of concealer on those. For those ones, though, you definitely have to get the perfect shade match. Under the eyes, I always do lighter, but doing a lighter shade on something that you're trying to cover up will just end up highlighting it. So you don't want to highlight the discoloration. You want to cover it up. So if I am light in the tinted moisturizer, then I have to be light in the concealer that's going to cover up any blemishes, sunspots, etc. Okay, so I do have the light concealer here as well, so I'm going to show you what I mean. I don't usually cover my sunspots, but there is one right there. But you see what I mean when I say that the shade match has to be perfect. And then you kind of just tap it in place until it disappears. Make sure you don't spread it too thinly, because then what you're trying to cover up is actually not going to cover up. So you really want to apply it and kind of like tap it in place. And there you go. When we have all this nice product on, we want to do a tiny bit of powder. Now, powder is one of those things that if you go too heavy with, it's definitely going to settle in lines. It's going to dry your skin out. You're not going to have this glow that we kind of have happening right now. You see how the skin is illuminating this product. So you really want to be light-handed with your powder. And I'm going to apply the powder with a smaller brush. You can use a blush brush, or even an eye brush, just so you can get into the points where you want it. And I'm only going to powder those spots. The bigger the brush, I find that the more product it picks up, and the larger area of the face that it's going to cover. So I applied my concealer, of course, on the eyes as well, and that's going to act as a base to the shadows. And the concealer has to be set in place if you don't want it to crease. Okay, now that the base is on, the next thing that's essential is the eyebrows. Okay, so as we start to get older, the eyebrows lose a lot of their pigment. Perhaps they're already getting lighter for you, or maybe they're not growing in the same way. So you definitely want to have a good brow, okay? So I'm just going to brush them into place like how they naturally grow. And you can see this one is higher than this one. There's a bit of a scar tissue here from a childhood accident. So I'm just going to go and like lift this brow up. And I really like a nice strong brow. So I'm going to use the Plume eyebrow pomade, and this is in the shade Chestnut Decadence. Okay, I can also get away with the Ashy Daybreak, but I really prefer the bolder one. Okay. And I kind of just, I don't make too much of fuss applying the eyebrow color. I kind of just brush it through. I apply it and then I just brush it through. But you really want to make sure that you have a nice wing at the end here. And you want to make sure that you don't go too low, because that's going to bring your whole eye down and make it look droopy. So you definitely want to, finish the eyebrow a little bit higher up, okay? You could measure that, but I would say a tiny bit short than too long would be better. And no brows are ever identical, so just keep playing with them until you have them where you want them. If you've done any microblading, or if you've done anything like this and your brows are exactly how you want them, then you don't have to do this step. You can skip. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're getting to the eyes. Now with the eyes, the sky's the limit of for the kind of look that you want to do, how much time you have, how many brushes you want to use. The eyes are definitely one of the most complicated things to do, because you can put on a variety of shadows, a variety of pencils, mascara, and you have to kind of get all of that to work and look beautiful together. So it can require a lot of blending. Now I'm going to show you just a couple of different things that you can do to your eyes. I definitely like having a light eye look. So I'm going to go in with one of the pure Anada shades, so something neutral. I'm going to also stick to more matte shades than anything really shimmery, because I find that sometimes can age the eyes, right? So I'm gonna go in with Ivory Tower, and that's gonna be my base, and I'm just gonna apply it. This is a matte, okay, matte shadow. I'm gonna apply it just all over. Don't forget the tear duct right there. Now, as a makeup artist, I have so many eyeshadows, but I have to tell you that the shades that I'm going to show you today are definitely the ones that I utilize the most. Be it for photo shoots or, when I'm teaching makeup, and especially when I'm teaching makeup for a more mature age group. Okay. All right, so you can see how that opens up the eyes and brightens it up. Now, look at my palette, but I'm seriously going to use 3 colors today. So we used Ivory Tower. My other favorite one for every day is Clouded. Clouded also makes a very nice kind of ashy tone for the eyebrows. And then the last one would be Smoke. So both of these would give you a really beautiful, natural kind of toned eye, but with enough impact. Now you need a little round brush, okay, to do the color, the contour color. So we're gonna go with Clouded, and we're gonna start at the outer corner and kind of go maybe 2/3 of the way in, and blending is key here. And we want to give just a little bit of depth to the eyelid. We don't want to make anything look too heavy. And I'm also going to bring it down almost like a V to the outer corners here, and then back up. You just want to blend it really well. So it's essential that this little brush that you're using kind of fits in here. The other thing too that's essential is that you need to look straight ahead and see where this color is ending up. Okay, so you want it to be peeking above your eyelid when you open it. Otherwise, if you don't bring the color a little bit higher up, it's going to be completely hidden. So what's the point of wearing it? So again, we're just going to go a little bit on the outer edge here and sweep it a little bit like this to the lash line, and then go 2/3 of the way up and over. Okay, so I'm not going to bring it all the way in here, okay? And remember this kind of sideways V. It's really important. It's a really easy eye look to do. And, if this was too much work for you, you could definitely stick to just one really, pretty, maybe a peachy pink or something flesh toned, one eyeshadow for the day. So I'm just going to show you just a little bit of placement here and how instantly the eyes just get warmed up with just one eyeshadow. So we want to give a little bit of emphasis to the eyes, especially if you're noticing that, your lashes are getting lighter, or, you tend to look a little bit more washed out. And then what we want to do is we want to go in with Smoke, and we're going to do just the tiniest amount of Smoke. I'm using this Duo Eye Brush by Pure Anada. I like how it has this little kind of like sharper edge. It's flat, because I want to keep the shade Smoke on the outer edges and along the lash line. So I'm picking up a little bit of the color, and then I'm just going to darken the outer edge of my eye here. So keep it as close to the lash line as you can, and then out. Okay, just for a bit more emphasis. I'm just working through my phone today, so I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly ahead. Just try to place this product for you. So keep it along the lash line and just smoke it a little bit outwards. Just pack it in there. Okay, so now that the shadow is on, I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of tight line. I'm gonna use a brown eyeliner today just to kind of keep everything soft. And I also really like tight lining my eyes with the mascara. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know that I really love doing that. So you don't need to go in with a really dark pencil. So I think brown is better. Also, Pure Anada does have another color, which is gray, and it is called Slate. So that's a nice option if you don't want to stick to black. Okay, you can see what a difference it makes from the other eye. Now, the mascara. My favorite way to apply mascara is to lift the brow bone here and just go right underneath here. So for this, it's essential that you have a delicate brush, a small brush. I have seen some mascaras out there that are just fat and huge. The wand is really important here, as is the longevity. So this is why I love the Pure Anada mascara. I love the slim brush. It allows me to go right under there and get that top waterline. Okay, what do you think? All right, so we're getting somewhere here. Okay, so the next thing to just give some life and warmth to your skin would be to apply something on your cheekbones and the apples of the cheek. Now, I really love my powder bronzer. So let's move some things around here. So I am gonna go in with the Pure Anada Demi Matte Mineral Bronzer. This is the Bronze Clove. And again, for a bronzer, instead of going in with a really big brush, just go in with a blush brush. You're gonna have a little bit more control and you're not gonna end up like bronzing your entire face, all right? So for me, I have a really high forehead, so I can definitely afford to put some over here. But even if your forehead is a little bit smaller, going right into the hairline is actually a beautiful way to warm up the skin overall. So start as close to the hairline as you can. All right, and then you're gonna go under here and then under your jawline. Okay, so maybe you've heard of the 3. So that's what we're doing here. It's number 3. And this is, I mean, I don't really support a lot of contouring, but this is a beautiful way to just give the chin a little bit of definition as well with the bronzer, if you need to do that. Otherwise, just think of these 3 here, okay? And if you have, you know, a little bit more fine lines developing on your cheek area or the top of the cheekbones here, Pure Anada has this beautiful cream cheek and lip colors that would be beautiful to use if you want to stay away from any of the powders, okay? So lots of options here. You can stick to creams if you want to give that warmth to the skin without using a powder. Okay, so just apply a tiny bit and then just go in and apply more as needed. Sometimes I go a little bit across my nose as well. Tiny bit maybe left over, whatever's left over. I didn't go back in to the cake here. Just, you know, and if your neck is looking king pale too, you can, you know, move this down a tiny bit. But you can see what beautiful warmth it gives. It's seriously like night and day from when I started, because I was, you know, so pale before. So, all right. So last facial feature would be the lips. Okay, now the lips, you know, apply some moisturizer to them before you go to bed. A lot of the eye creams are also safe to apply around the lip area. But definitely if you see these fine lines developing, you're gonna need a lip pencil, all right? You need a lip pencil for sure. And although I do love my really dark shades of lipstick, if you want something that's gonna be a little bit more youthful, stick to neutrals. So like the peachy pinks, those would be the shades that, you know, would remove some years of your face, and not the really dark lipsticks. The dark lipsticks, and anything dark, actually, I already talked about the lip liner, you know, they tend to age us a little bit, and also they make your lips look smaller, okay? So if you're already starting, you know, with a more minimal pout, you definitely want to enhance that and make it look larger, and not darken it up and get it to look smaller, okay? So I'm applying the Pure Anada lip liner here in Spice. And another thing I like to do to keep the lipstick in place is just slightly draw in from the lip line, go inwards down to your lip, and just give that area a little bit of pencil too. It's gonna help the lipstick adhere and kind of like grip on to that lip liner. Okay, and for lipstick, I'm gonna go in with Tin Feathers. This is in the shade Velour. It's one of my absolute favorites. And I'm gonna go in with the lip brush because it helps the lipstick get in between the little lines. I know a lot of people think, you know, just why do you need a lip brush? It's pointless. You can just take everything and put it straight from the tube. And yes, you can, but you know, when your lips start getting a little bit, you know, older, and you start having a lot of lines, it's just so much better to apply it with a lip brush because it helps get into the lines and kind of like smooth your product out. Okay, everyone, so these are my tips. I turned 45 last month, so I thought this would be a great tutorial to do for you. I hope you found my tips useful. I'm gonna tag all the products that I have used below. They link back to my shop, which is Green Beauty Curator, which is a very beautiful collection of skincare products made by Canadian women, so Canadian brands. And this is just a curated collection of stuff that I have used in my kit and over the years that now I have online in my shop. So if you like the products, you know, check them out. And if you have any questions, please drop me a line. I would love to help you, you know, get your makeup and skincare on more effortlessly, and you know, help you with your clean beauty journey if that's what you have decided to do. All right, so thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.